Good evening, madam, and also my dear fellow classmates. My name is Sarashni Sugumaran, and my metric number is 1092, and this is my colleague.
My name is Mahalakshmi. My metric number is 1094.
So today we are in chapter 1, which is web environment. So today in this chapter we are going to see about human computer interaction. So let's see what the meaning about human computer interaction. So human computer interaction basically just interaction, or we can also say it is a conversation between the human and also computer. So the full meaning here is human computer interaction is also known as the HCI. It's a field of study that will be focusing on the design of computer technology, and in most particularly this HCI will be focusing on the interaction between the human, which is also known as the user, and the computers. As I said before, just a conversation, or we can also say it is the interaction between the human and computer. That's it, simple. For the next slide, I'm gonna pass to my colleague to continue with this topic.
So for the next part, I will explain about the components of HCI, which is the user, the interface, and the context. First, the user refers to the individual or group who interacts with the system to complete a task. HCI studies the user's goals, their needs, and how they behave when using a system. It also considers their cognitive abilities, emotions, and past experience. This helps designers create systems that are easy and enjoyable to use. Next is the context. HCI is not only about the user and system, it also includes the environment where the interaction happens. For example, when designing a smartphone app, we must consider how it works in different lighting conditions like day and night, or how it performs when there is poor internet connection. This helps improve the overall user experience. The third component is the interface. It is the part of the system that users interact with directly. This includes how users touch, click, speak, or capture. Other important parts are screen resolution, display size, and color contrast. Designers must make sure these elements are suitable for the user's needs. In short, these three components, user, context, and interface, must be carefully considered to create a successful and user-friendly system. So for the next slide, I will pass to my colleague.
So now I'm going to explain about the relevance of HCI to modern system design. So HCI is really important to modern system design for three reasons. So the first reason is to improve usability. So in improve usability, HCI ensures the systems are easy to use, especially for users of different skill levels. So here the meaning for users of different skill levels is there are some people who is pro at using computer, there are some people who is intermediate, and there are some people who is just the beginner in using the computer. So for this type of people, ensure HCI ensures the system are easy to use and also easy to understand for them. So the next point is reduce confusion and increase user satisfaction. So for example, let's take ChatGPT app. So when we using the ChatGPT app, we never wonder like where do I need to ask the question and where do I find the question asking bar. We never wonder like this. So we just ask the question in the ChatGPT app and we will get the answer immediately. So in this state, we never feel very confused or unsatisfied. In particularly when we ask the question, we will get the answer immediately, like, so we also feel like there's no confusion, and also we will feel very satisfied too. So that's the point for improved usability. Okay, so the next reason is enhance user experience, which is UX. So here the first point is HCI focus on how users feel during interaction. So for an example, let's take ChatGPT again as the example. Okay, so when we use the ChatGPT app, we asking a question. So for the reply, we doesn't have to be wait for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or even for half an hour. We doesn't have to be wait like that. We just ask a question and we will get the answer immediately in like 1 second. So we will also feel very happy at this moment because we will get the answer immediately. Okay, so for the next point is HCI will be helps in creating intuitive and enjoyable systems. So for an example, let's take WhatsApp. So for WhatsApp is a place where we feel free to chat with anyone at any time and also at any moment, right? So here we does to chat in the WhatsApp. First, we doesn't need to be have to click this button and then this button and then only we can have to be chat with the person we want. No, we just feel free when we open the WhatsApp app. We just chat with anyone at any time. We just feel free to do what we want. So we also feel like very comfort, and also we all feel enjoy to do the things that we want, and we feel free to do that. So that's the point for enhanced user experience. So the last reason is to increases productivity. When users understand the interface quickly, they also complete tasks faster. So the meaning here is when there's a in the system, the interface are mostly organized and have a clear buttons, users also can understand the interface more easily, and also they can finish their task more earlier too. So the next point is useful in enterprise system and also productivity tools. So for an example, in companies, employees use systems like finance or HR software, right? So for them, having a system that cover with interface organized and also have a clear buttons and interface that is easy to understand, employees also can understand the system more better, and also they can finish their daily task earlier too. So that's all. Me and my teammate, we choose the subtopic which is human-computer interaction because we want to learn how the human and also the computer work together. For the next slide, I'm gonna pass to my colleague to continue with this topic.
Next, I will explain about what is user interface or UI means. The user interface is the point where interaction between humans and computers takes place. This includes display screen, keyboards, mouse, and even how a website or application looks and feels. UI includes visual elements like icons, fonts, buttons, animations, and even sounds. A good UI allows users to use system easily without confusion. It should meet their expectation by being simple, attractive, and accessible. If users struggle to understand it, they may stop using the product. So a good UI helps users to interact efficiently and enjoyably with the system. So for the next slide, I will pass to my colleague.
So now I'm going to explain that why user interface is important. So the first point is user interface is important to meet user expectation and support the effective functionality of a system. So here the example is when a user use a system that have a interface that organized and have a clear buttons. So users also is really happy to use the system because they can understand the system more better and they can finish their work more earlier too. So the second point is a well executed user interface facilities effective app or machine through contrasting visuals, clean design, and responsiveness, which make the interaction more better between the user and also the computer. Okay, so the third point is when designing a UI for a system, it's important to consider users expectation in terms of accessibility, visual aesthetic, and also an easy of use. So for example, when we create a system for kids, so in the system we definitely gonna have a colorful backgrounds and cartoon pictures like that, right? Because we want to meet the kids expectation. So that's the example for this point.
We choose user interface topic because we want to show how a good design helps users use the system better.
For the next slide, I'm gonna pass to my colleague to continue with this topic.
Now I will explain how computer technology influence interaction and interface design. New technologies like virtual reality and 3D systems have changed the way users interact with computers. Let's break this into three parts. First, we have virtual reality system and 3D visualization. This technology allows users to interact with a virtual world in a more realistic way. First point, positioning in 3D space. Users can move their body and the system will track their position in the 3D environment. Second point, moving and grasping. Users can use their hands to grab or move virtual objects just like in the real world. Third point, seeing 3D. Special devices like VR helmets or cave system allow users to see the virtual world in 3D. It looks very real, like you are inside the system. Next, we will talk more about how systems track body movement known as positioning in 3D space. First point, data glove. A data glove is a wearable glove that uses fiber optics to detect finger movement and gestures. Second point, VR helmets. These helmets can detect the user's head movement and in some systems even track where the user is looking, known as eye gaze. Third point, whole body tracking. This involves tracking the movement of the whole body. Accelerometers are strapped to the arms and legs, or reflective dots are used with cameras to track how the user moves. All of these help the system respond naturally to the user's real-world movements. Finally, we have 3D displays which show visuals in a more realistic way. First, desktop VR. This uses an ordinary screen along with a mouse or keyboard. Even though it is not fully immersive, perspective and motion effects create a 3D feel. Second, seeing in 3D. This includes technology like stereoscopic vision, which use two slightly different images to create depth. Last, VR helmets. These helmets have built-in screens and may include shutter glasses to help the user to see 3D more clearly. We choose this topic because to explain how new technology changed the way we design and use systems. That's all from us. Thank you.